Inshallah, it won't take long. It will be a very brief khutbah, inshallah. So I would like you please to be seated and listen to 4 points. This is what I'm going to be talking about. The first point is the narration of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam when he said, للصائم فرحتان فرحة عند فطره وفرحة حين يلقى ربه. Those worshippers who fasted Ramadan and who have made it to the faith of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will experience 2 moments of happiness. One of them is they break their fast, which is today. You're going to go back to your normal life with keeping in mind what you have learned from Ramadan. So Ramadan was not just a period of time that passed away and you're going to forget it and put it in the dark part of your mind. The thing about Ramadan is to learn from it for the future. Let me ask you a question. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said that your deeds, your actions, the files of the records of your good and bad deeds, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the angels take it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala once a year, to Allah to look into it. Are you following this? This one time is in Sha'ban, which is 1 month before Ramadan. My question is, why didn't the angels why didn't they take those files and bring it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala after Ramadan? So everything is clear, we have fasted, we are very good. This is not the point of Ramadan. The point of Ramadan is like a training camp. You're going to keep practicing what you have learned from Ramadan for 11 months till next Sha'ban, till Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala look at your affairs. And the other time, the other moment of happiness is in the Day of Judgment, where you can appreciate your fasting in Ramadan. You're going to see people suffering. This is what the Prophet said about the Day of Judgment is, the length of this day will be 50,000. Will be like 50,000 years. And people will be standing in this day, and the sun will descend like a hand on the top of the head. Except for those people, 7 kinds of people, you are inshallah one of them. So you can appreciate being in the shadow of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, not being with this part of the world. So the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in the day of Eid is to spread happiness and spread joy with everybody around you, to have a good clothes on and to be nice with everybody. What I'd like to talk about today is the outcome of Ramadan. The Ramadan was like an input. Everything in this life about input and outcome. We have got a lot from Ramadan. And the outcome that we would like to use after Ramadan, we will talk about 3 dimensions. The first dimension is about yourself. We have been fasting for 30 days, and then we have been doing Taraweeh every night, alhamdulillah, and we have been giving zakat al-fitr today. The Prophet ﷺ says, أَحَبُّ الْأَعْمَالِ إِلَى اللَّهِ أَدْوَمُهَا وَإِنْ قَلِّ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves the deeds, the unstoppable deeds, even if it's a few, even if it's a little thing. So do not stop your ta'ah, make it continuous ta'ah. So if you cannot make Qiyam as you used to do in Ramadan, 8 rak'ahs or 20 rak'ahs, just make it 2 rak'ahs every night. Just show Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala persistence, that you are persistent in His way, and you are going to go to the paradise inshallah, and you're going to keep something that you got from Ramadan. This is number 1. The second dimension that we need to talk about after Ramadan, which is really sad, your relationship with your family. The Prophet ﷺ said, خَيْرُكُمْ لِأَهْلِهِ وَأَنَا خَيْرُكُمْ لِأَهْلِهِ. The best amongst you is the best to his family. And the Prophet said, and I am the best to my family. The problem that I have seen all over the Muslim world is people, when they act in the masjid, when they act with their brothers and sisters in Islam, they act very nice, inshallah. But once they go back to the house and they close the doors, they turn to a different person, which is not what the Prophet ﷺ used to say, or used to do with his people. Umar ibn Khattab once had seen a companion speaking highly about another companion. So Umar asked this person who speaks highly, he said, did you travel with that guy? He said, no. He said, did you deal with him with money? Did you give him money? Did you lend him money and see how you deal with it? The companion said, no. He said, هل سافرت معه؟ هل عاملته بالدرهم والدينار؟ هل جاورته؟ Has he been your neighbor at some point? He said, no. So Umar said, إذا لا تعرفه. So how would you speak highly about him? You haven't dealt with him. Being in the masjid is not the same. The thing is being with your wife, being with your kids, being with your parents. How do you deal with your parents? بر الوالدين. This is what we need to talk about in the Eid. Because the gap that we have in the Muslim community between how they worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and then how they backbite each other, right? How they lie when they speak with each other. How do they cheat when they deal with each other? This is extremely important. In this extraordinary event, we have to talk about those issues. So what we got from Ramadan, the Prophet ﷺ, this is the hadith sahih. So his companions mentioned a lady. ذكرت بكثرة صيامها وصلاتها. This lady used to do an extra salah, more than others. And she used to give more money, more than others. And she used to fast 4 days. But look at this. But they said, لكنها تؤذي جيرانها. But she is not nice to her neighbors. She does not deal with them in a right way. Her tongue is a bad tongue. The Prophet ﷺ disregarded all her good deeds. And he said, هي في النار. She's going to be sent to the hellfire, right? Because she's not dealing with people in her way. Because all of her prayers, all of her charity, all of her zakat, all of her knowledge did not help her to take an extra step to be good with others. So this is extremely important. How do we deal with the kids? And especially parents. Brothers and sisters, we cannot keep dealing with our kids in a bad way and then expect them to be raised as good Muslims and to belong to Islam. Some people, they emphasize on teaching their kids how to pray and how to fast and how to be good Muslims, but guess what? They miss the whole point. They miss the sense of belonging to Islam because they are seeing their parents, they are not dealing with each other in a good way and others. I work as a counselor, right? I got a teenager, she was like 16 years old. And she came to my office and she was talking to me about her parents. And she was telling me things, and then she said, my father is not a good person. I told her, maybe you mean he's not a good father. She said, no, he is not a good person. So she evaluates her father. And I cannot tell her, don't say this, because even if she doesn't say it to me, guess what? She feels it, right? That's how she perceives her father. So my question to myself and to all of you, how do your kids, how do your teens perceive you? How do they see you? Do they admire us? Are they really appreciating to having us as their parents or not? If the answer is no, we have a serious problem. Right? And then they are not going to belong to Islam. Sumayya, the companion of the Prophet ﷺ, was killed while very recent to receiving the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Mecca. And the salah was not obligation yet. Fasting was not obligation yet. Hajj was not obligatory yet. So why did Sumayya got killed? Why did the disbelievers, the terrorists, why did they kill Sumayya in Mecca? What was the concept that the Prophet ﷺ was raising his companions on? It was loving this deen. It was getting ready to give everything for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's what we need to raise our kids on. To get them very attached to Allah. Our kids are attached to Allah? No. Are they attached to the Muslim community? No, they are not. They are not. I was teaching at the Islamic school in Massachusetts. And I got this girl, she was 7th grader, and she was telling me that, Brother Muhammad, those who came from overseas, you know she's talking about who? About us, about teachers, about parents. And to her, we are those who came from overseas, who are aliens. to